They don't want you to know the truth, because once you know it, you can't be controlled anymore. You can't be broken anymore. You can't be lied to anymore. The world has spun a narrative for so long, telling black people you come from nothing. They say it so loud, so often, you might start to believe it. But the truth is older than their textbooks, stronger than their institution, and deeper than their lies. You are descendants of Shem, not cursed, not lost, not forgotten. You are from the same lineage that shaped nations, built civilizations, carried wisdom through fire and exile and time. That bloodline, it survived wars. It survived captivity. It survived being scattered across the earth. And it's still here, running through your veins. You wonder why they target you, why they fear your voice, your strength, your resilience, because you carry something ancient inside you, something they can't replicate, steal, or destroy. You carry the memory of kings and queens, of architects and scholars, of warriors and healers. You carry the beginning of stories they wish they could erase. Every time you rise up, every time you dream bigger, every time you walk with your head high, you wake up that ancient DNA inside of you. You remind the world of what they tried to bury, and it terrifies them. See, they'll try to make you think that your history starts with chains, but your story began with crowns. They'll say you came from the bottom, but you were born from the first. They'll tell you your future is limited, but your past says otherwise. You were made for greatness before anyone could even try to define you. You don't have to ask permission to be powerful. You don't have to beg anyone to see your worth. It's already yours. It's already written inside of you. So when they try to measure you against their standards, remember you are the standard. When they try to put you in a box, remember you were never meant to fit in their boxes. You were meant to break them. The blood of Shem, the legacy of visionaries, builders, leaders, it's in you. It's undeniable. It's unstoppable. Walk like you know who you are. Speak like you know where you come from. Move like your ancestors are standing behind you, because they are. You are not lost. You are not lesser. You are not broken. You are the living proof that greatness never dies. They've been trying to rewrite the script for centuries. They've been trying to paint the picture so wrong for so long that you forget what the real portrait looked like. But the truth doesn't need makeup. It doesn't need a filter. It doesn't need approval. The truth stands on its own 2 feet. Long before the world told you who you were supposed to be, long before chains, long before oppression, you were already somebody. You didn't just show up in history when the boats came. You didn't just appear when the plantations were built. You didn't just begin when they decided to count you. No, you were already here, already powerful, already chosen, already walking with a greatness that scared the world even then. You are descendants of Shem, a bloodline that carried knowledge, culture, leadership, invention, a bloodline that saw the rise and fall of empires and kept on rising anyway, a bloodline that built cities when others were still learning how to survive, a bloodline that spoke languages, traded goods, crafted laws, and taught the world what civilization could look like. This is your real history, not the watered-down version they feed you, not the edited textbook made to make you small, not the 3 paragraphs they crammed into 1 month a year and called it history. The roots run deeper than their lies can reach. They want you to think your story started with suffering, but it started with strength. They want you to believe you were always at the bottom, but you come from the top. You were royalty before they even knew what a crown was. And understand this, the reason they distort the truth is because the real story puts power back in your hands. The real story reminds you that you were never meant to beg for a seat at their table. You were born to build your own. It reminds you that you don't have to fit into their systems. You come from people who created systems. They fear the truth because when you know who you are, you can no longer be controlled. You can no longer be tricked into believing you're less than. You can no longer be used, tossed aside, forgotten. Knowing your true roots is not just about pride. It's about position. It's about walking into every room like you belong there, because you do. It's about building a future based on facts, not fiction. It's about passing down power, not pain. You carry something ancient inside you, something that no history book can erase, something that no system can dismantle, something that no lie can bury deep enough. It's in your voice when you speak truth to power. It's in your walk when you refuse to bow down. It's in your dreams when you see beyond the walls they built around you. It's in your blood, in your bones, in your very breath. You come from greatness, not because somebody said so, but because history, real history, already proved it. And it's time you start walking like it, talking like it, building like it, living like it. The world may have tried to distort the story, but the real story is still alive, and it's living inside of you. They want you to believe you come from nothing. They want you to believe your story begins with pain, ends with struggle, and never leaves the middle. But that's not the truth. The truth is bigger, older, stronger than anything they ever told you. Your real heritage is one of royalty, born to lead, not to follow. You are the blood of kings and queens, of builders and creators, of visionaries and protectors. Your ancestors wore crowns before others even knew what a crown was. They sat on thrones, built cities, wrote laws, and ruled civilizations when the rest of the world was still trying to find its way. Royalty is not about gold or jewels. It's about spirit. It's about bearing. It's about knowing who you are without needing anyone to remind you. And that power, that dignity, that strength, it runs through your veins right now. You come from wisdom, deep, ancient, earned, long before textbooks, long before universities, long before the world even knew what organized learning was. Your ancestors were studying the stars, charting the seas, healing bodies with medicine pulled from the earth. They were teaching mathematics, philosophy, architecture. They were building libraries when others were still learning how to build fires. That wisdom didn't disappear. It didn't vanish into the dust. It's been passed down through generations, through bloodlines, through the struggles and the victories. It's been kept alive in the way you think, the way you create, the way you dream beyond what's in front of you. And resilience. There is no greater proof of your resilience than the fact that you're still here, still standing, still rising, still pushing forward when everything was designed to hold you back, still creating beauty when the world showed you nothing but ugliness, still loving, still laughing, still living when they tried to crush every spirit that looked like yours. Chains were placed on your ancestors, yes, but those chains never touched their souls. They never broke the spirit inside them. They never erased the royalty. They never took away the wisdom. They never destroyed the resilience. Oppression was something done to you, but it never defined you. It never will, because you were never just survivors. You are conquerors of the impossible. You are proof that no matter how heavy the weight, you can rise up and carry more. You are living monuments to the strength it takes to endure, to rebuild, to soar higher than anyone thought possible. You don't come from chains. You come from crowns. You don't come from suffering. You come from strength. And no matter how much they try to rewrite the narrative, the real story still shines through. You see it in the way you refuse to be broken. You see it in the way you turn struggle into art, pain into poetry, obstacles into stepping stones. You see it in the way you lift each other up when the world tries to pull you down. Royalty, wisdom, resilience, that is your inheritance. That is your foundation. That is your undeniable truth. And once you know it, once you own it, there is no chain strong enough to hold you. There is no lie loud enough to drown you out. There is no wall high enough to block your light. You were not made to be broken. You were made to reign. You ever wonder why they work so hard to keep you asleep? Why they flood you with distraction? Why they rewrite your history, hide your achievements, erase your heroes? Because they know something they hope you never figure out. They know that a people who understand their true power can't be stopped. A people who know who they are can't be tricked. A people who walk with purpose can't be pushed aside. And so they create narratives, loud ones, endless ones, flashing on your screens, printed in your books, whispering in your classrooms, shouting from your news feeds. They tell you you're small. They tell you you're broken. They tell you you're powerless. Because if you ever wake up and see yourself clearly, they lose the one thing they have over you. Fear only works when you forget how powerful you are. Control only works when you think you have no option. Suppression only works when you believe the lies more than you believe yourself. They built systems to distract you from your reflection. They planted seeds to make you doubt your own roots. They made sure you knew more about their heroes than your own ancestors. Because an awakened mind doesn't just free itself, it frees everybody around it. And once enough minds wake up, the whole system starts to crack. See, the moment you realize that your history didn't start with suffering, the moment you realize your legacy is power, brilliance, resilience, that's the moment the chains on your mind break. That's the moment you stop asking for permission. That's the moment you stop waiting for validation. Because deep down they know the truth. The real danger isn't just that you succeed individually. The real danger is that you wake up collectively, that you see each other's greatness, that you build together, that you move together, that you rise together. An awakened, self-aware people can't be manipulated. They don't fall for every trick. They don't bow to every threat. They don't buy into every label slapped on them. They lead, they build, they create futures out of nothing but willpower and vision. And that's why the narrative machine works overtime. It has to. It needs you distracted. It needs you doubting. It needs you busy fighting battles that don't matter, so you don't see the war that's already been won inside of you. Because the day you realize who you are, the day you understand the royalty in your veins, the genius in your blood, the strength in your bones, is the day you become unstoppable. Not because someone gave you permission, not because someone handed you power, but because the power was yours the whole time. You just had to remember. The truth was never lost. It was just buried under noise, under lies, under fear. But once you dig it up, once you hold it in your hands and look it in the eye, there's no turning back. You are not meant to be suppressed. You are meant to rise. And once you rise, there's no system strong enough, no narrative loud enough, no lie big enough to stop you. And awakened people are the most dangerous force on earth, because they don't just survive, they transform everything they touch. They build worlds where chains used to be. They light fires where darkness used to live. And the world will have no choice but to reckon with that power. You don't need a permission slip to be powerful. You don't need a round of applause to know you're valuable. You don't need an award, a title, a seat at their table to know you belong. Because strength, dignity, and purpose, they're not given to you by the world. They were stitched into your DNA from the beginning. Strength is not something you had to learn. It's something you were born with. It's in every step you take. It's in every fight you survive. It's in the way you keep pushing, even when the world gives you every reason to quit. Strength is not something you perform. It's something you live. It's in your voice when you speak truth. It's in your hands when you build from nothing. It's in your eyes when you refuse to be broken. Dignity is not up for debate. It's not something someone else can hand you or take away. It's not tied to a paycheck, a degree, a title, or a spotlight. It's already yours. It's in the way you carry yourself. It's in the way you treat yourself, even when the world tries to treat you less. It's in the way you demand respect without raising your voice, without lowering your standards. Dignity isn't something you chase. It's something you stand in. And no system, no person, no lie has the power to erase it. Purpose. Purpose isn't something you find outside yourself. It's not hidden in a job description. It's not written in the headlines. Purpose is already inside you, waiting to be activated. It's that fire that refuses to go out. It's that vision you can't shake. It's that pull in your chest that tells you, I was made for more. Purpose is not given by the world. It's discovered in yourself. And the truth is, external systems were never built to validate you. They were built to control you. They were built to limit you. They were built to define you in ways that made you smaller, quieter, easier to manage. Waiting for them to validate your worth is like asking a cage to set you free. You don't need their approval. You don't need their permission. You don't need to fit into spaces that were never designed for your greatness. Because your value doesn't change based on how they see you. Your power doesn't shrink based on how they label you. Your light doesn't dim based on how they try to block it. Strength, dignity, and purpose are already yours. They're not a reward you earn by playing their game. They're not a trophy you get by following their rules. They are your birthright. The world may try to act like they're the gatekeepers to success, the guardians of opportunity, the judges of worth, but you were never meant to live inside their cages. You were never meant to shrink to fit their standards. You were never meant to bow down to their opinions. You were built to walk your own path. You were built to carve your own future. You were built to lead, to build, to rise, with or without their permission. Strength, dignity, purpose. It's not about being chosen by them. It's about choosing yourself every single day. It's about knowing that everything you need, you already carry inside you. It's about standing tall even when the world tries to knock you down. It's about remembering that their systems didn't define your ancestors, and they don't define you either. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. You just have to walk in what's already yours. And when you do that, there's nothing they can do to stop you. There's a legacy running through your blood, powerful, unbreakable, undeniable. A legacy built on survival, built on brilliance, built on the backs of giants who refuse to be forgotten. And when you embrace that legacy, when you reach back and grab hold of it, you don't just honor the past, you change the future. You rise. Because when you know where you come from, you stop doubting where you're going. You stop moving like you're lost. You start moving like you've got a destination written deep inside your spirit. You start standing taller, speaking louder, dreaming bigger. When you embrace your legacy, you stop apologizing for your greatness. You stop shrinking to fit into places that were never meant to hold you. You stop waiting for opportunities and start creating them. You understand that you are not walking in anyone else's footsteps. You are blazing your own trail. You lead. Because leadership isn't about titles or applause. It's about responsibility. It's about vision. It's about seeing what others can't yet see and daring to build it anyway. When you know you come from kings and queens, from builders and warriors, from teachers and creators, you stop second-guessing your ability to lead. You understand that leadership is in your blood. It's in your instincts. It's in your courage to stand up when it would be easier to stay seated. You lead, not by force, but by example, by showing others what it looks like to walk in truth, by lifting others as you climb, by refusing to leave anyone behind. And most of all, you redefine the future, because the future doesn't belong to the ones who accept the world as it is. The future belongs to the ones who dare to imagine something better, the ones who refuse to be boxed in by old limits, the ones who see walls and decide to build doors, the ones who understand that history is not something you inherit, it's something you make. When you embrace your legacy, you don't repeat the past, you elevate it, you build on it, you take the lessons, the power, the pride, and you forge something even greater. A new generation is watching. A new generation is waiting. They are looking for examples of what is possible. They are looking for someone who shows them that greatness is not a fairy tale. It's real. It's reachable. It's already inside of them. By embracing the truth of who you are, you light the path for them. You give them permission to dream without limits. You give them the blueprint to rise higher, faster, stronger. You break the chains they were never meant to carry. You destroy the ceilings they were never meant to bow beneath. You open doors they didn't even know could exist. This is bigger than you. It's bigger than now. It's about setting a new standard for generations to come. It's about writing a new chapter where strength, excellence, and freedom are the norm, not the exception. When you embrace your legacy, you unleash something unstoppable. You ignite a fire that can't be put out. You spark a movement that can't be slowed down. You change the story for everyone who comes after you. You rise, you lead, you redefine the future, and the world will have no choice but to recognize the power that's been there all along.